Hello guys, how you all doing? Well, I'm okay myself, and on today's video we're just going to be checking the US 30. So we're going to have like a forecast or the overlook as to like what we can expect next week, right? As always, we always start at the top and work our way down, and remember to stick to your time frames, the ones that you decided to trade, the time frame combination. You know how the time frame combination works. So if it happens that this is the first video that you are watching from this channel, so I would suggest that you sort of start with the videos that we made previously and just start watch them in the sequence that I uploaded them, because some of the concepts we won't be going into deeper details in them. We'll just be touching them because we already explained them. So I suggest that you start by watching those videos, all right, as to like how to approach the markets. So as always, let's start with and check what's happening on monthly. On monthly, the take home message, or the points, things that we need to take note of, is that you always, when you're still new learning this strategy, I would suggest that every time you make an analysis, have a piece of paper where you're going to say, on weekly, this is what I saw; on monthly, this is what I saw. All the points, the key points that you need to note, just write them. So here on monthly, the first thing that we can note is that the price is inside monthly support zone. Which one? We are talking about this pause here, this one. So this is our monthly support. I hope you all agree. That's point number one. And then point number two, another thing that we can so these are the positive things. We are inside the monthly zone. And then the second one would be we are sort of more like retesting old resistance. Remember, there's a saying that goes like the old resistance, sometimes it can be the new support. But in this case, we are more like this was once the resistance, it was broken, now we are coming back. More like resistance becoming the new support, like that. But we're not saying that's what is going to happen, but we're just saying at least it adds to our odds and increase the odds, as to like when we're trying to buy, at least we know that it will also saying the price has the chances of going up, right? But there's one negative thing here, or that's something that can work against us, which is the price. It formed bullish pin bar or rejection bar last month, but it failed to go above it, but rather it went lower than it now, which means I'm talking about this. We did have a pin bar. Remember the theory about pin bars that I made in one of the videos? If you haven't watched it, make sure that you watch it so that you'll understand what you're talking about. So we did have this. In short, we're always saying when we have a pin bar, we expect, if the pin bar is forming at the significant, remember it has to form at a significant area. So if it forms as a significant area, like a bullish one in this case, if it forms like this, we expect the price to at least go above that high. If it doesn't, but rather comes lower than it, then it invalidates the pin bar. The pin bar, we know it's like it's not a good sign. And usually when that happens, price tends to drop like that. So this is a negative thing here, in a sense that we are looking for reversal signs at this support, the monthly support. But now we've got something that is negative, that is sort of saying the bearish power is more like not yet complete, unless if this the price gets rejected at this monthly support, and then it goes up and closes what second pin bar or rejection bar, then it will be something positive. And what else can we note from this? I think that is all. So that's why I'm saying every time you do your analysis, just make sure that you have like a piece of paper where you're going to note these things down, so that when you're moving to the next time frame, you already know what the bigger time frame is saying. So here we can just see that we are inside the monthly support, so we'll be looking to to get like a reversal sign so that we can buy. So even though this is negative, right, but we'll be leaning on the thing. I remember I once made a video about the differences between stocks and forex or currencies. So stocks, things like USD 30, US 30, US 100, Nasdaq, Dow Jones, and any other stock you can think of. This is some they call this an index, but it's more like a summary of stocks of Facebook, Microsoft, whatever, 100 of them. So here they are 30. So because you know that usually the stocks in general they are going up. So even though this is negative, but we will be also having a third positive thing, which is what this is more like a stock, and we know that stocks generally they go up, so we'll be having our fingers crossed that the price is going to react or respect the current support. So that is all that we have on your monthly chart. So once you are all done with that, all you have to do is now add a rectangle to okay, let's use a different color. Alright, this is how you mark your zone. You just have to put a rectangle so that you mark the level, so that when you're going down to lower time frames, you will know where this the monthly support is at. So that's our monthly support. And then now let's move to the next one, which is our monthly. You're the weekly. So on weekly, remember there's a guy yesterday, the video that I posted yesterday, there was a guy, I can't remember if it was Mzwandile or I can't remember the other guy's name. So the guy asked, I think it was Mzwandile, where he asked, I think here on daily, you see when you're going to daily, this was a daily, but it's fine, I'll explain this when you get to daily. Where he asked, is it possible that the price will do this and then we're looking to buy there and then it breaks that? Then I said yes, so I'll just demonstrate this when you get to daily. So now let's start with the weekly analysis. What is it that we're seeing on our weekly? So on weekly, the price action this side is not very nice. Remember, we prefer price action that looks like this. Having strong candlesticks. So it's very convincing, this one. Other than the one that is just, you can see we are just barely making it. So this is not nice. So it's not easy to mark levels at that area, but we know that this is our monthly support. I suggest you still go with it, because these ones which one are you gonna pick? Because you can see they are more like around the same level, and there's so many. It's like a level having a level that is going to form on top of another level. So there I'll just say let's stick to this one. And the thing that we can take from here would be that the price, yes, the price is still inside monthly support, as we know from the previous time frame. And what else do we have here? We do have a weekly. We have a weekly bearish trend line still intact, not yet broken. And also what else? So because our weekly trend line is not broken, we are not predicting that just because we're bouncing from a higher time frame support or the monthly support, which is higher than the weekly that we're talking about here. Just because we'll be bouncing from a monthly support, it doesn't mean that the price will just go and break it like that. We don't predict that. It can happen, yes, but we don't have to predict it, because you'll never know. What if the price decides to move like this? Because that's also possible. So that's what I'm saying. So hence, when we are taking trades, I would always suggest to you that if you get an entry somewhere inside that zone, and we have to our TP, we always place it at what? Next opposing structure. In this case, because we're looking to buy, it will be a resistance area or bearish trend line. So when the price hits our bearish trend line, that's where I'll place the TP. Or if it happens that it goes all the way up like that and it hits the resistance, that's where I'm gonna put my TP. So that's it. That's all that you need to take here. Because of what we're exiting there, because of what, as much as we're bouncing from a higher time frame zone, that's why we're looking for buying opportunities but the price hasn't broken our trend line here. So that's why we are going to give it a chance to just play around that so that it decides on what it wants to do when it gets to the trend line. That's it. So we are still keen on taking buys from that zone. Let's check our daily. Yes, this is what I wanted to use to explain that concept yesterday. You could remember at some point our trend line was here. If you've been following our setups, our trend line was there, and then our support was here, and we broke what? We had broken the trend line, and we had broken the resistance, this one. We had broken it. So that's when we're like, when the price is coming back here, we are looking to search for buying opportunities. And the price, what did it do? The first sign that it was not a good thing was what it formed a gap. Remember, it opened with a gap. When was it? Here it opened with a gap and still pushed all the way down. So it never gave us a reason to buy. That's when we were like, the price went down, and the guy yesterday asked if it's possible for the price to break the thing like that. And when it does, what is it that I need to do now? Because remember, we were looking to buy from that and we never gotten a chance, but now we have what? Lower than that, which means this point has to be part of your trend line. So the only thing that you have to do when you have that, you need to understand that bullishness, whatever that you had there, it's over. It was invalidated the day it fails to protect its lowest point. The day it fails to keep the price above that, the day it allows the price to go lower than that, that bullishness is gone. So we're now leaning back, going back to the bearish side. So that's when you can adjust your trend line and put it maybe somewhere there, and say the daily trend line is still here. Why? Because we did have a bullish one, but it was broken, and you can mark this as your resistance on daily. So if you get a trend, if your daily is part of your time frame combinations and you get an entry, it means, remember, we are exiting at the next opposing structure. It can be, in this case, because we'll be talking about daily, it will be daily resistance or daily bearish trend line. That's how you trade. And then let's move on to, but now in this one is going to be a challenging one. Why? Because you can see that the price tried to sort of do this, but I don't know if that's why sometimes things don't happen. It's not like a very clear. So that's why you be like, is this, did it move like this? Like, you have to decide whether what you're looking at, is it this or is it this? Is it sideways move, or did it really pull back before coming down? Because remember, that's why two people, we can look at the same structure, but at the end of the day, the way we decide won't be the same. But it's okay for us to look at it to be like that, because of what? The level is not very clear. So looking at both scenarios, if you think like this here, it's like this, right? Then it means, because you have a sort of a low and then going up and lower like that, it means what you have to do is put your daily trend line there, and this is your the nearest resistance. But if you feel like this is just a sideways move like this, then it means you can't put your trend line there, because we need this for us to put a trend line. But it doesn't mean that this is still your resistance. Remember, the resistance can form at this, or even when you're going down and do this, like I explained in that video where we were marking the areas, where we were comparing a level with an area. I hope you still remember that video. So if you're going with option 1, it means your trend line is here. If you're going with option 2, it means your trend line still remains up there, but it doesn't change the fact that this is your resistance. So if you're getting an entry, the price might struggle to pass that, so you can't ignore it. So it's either you are saying, if the space is big enough, you can take your entry and then exit there. If you feel like it's not big enough, you can just watch the price play out and wait for it to go above that. Then you know, like, you don't have resistance anymore here. The next one is still far, so it means you have a chance to get that. So if you get a pullback to whatever support that you have there, you can buy and then look to exit at the next one, because this one won't be existing anymore for the once the price moves above it. So yeah, but we doesn't change the fact that we're still looking to buy. But remember, there's some friction here if you are trading daily. But if you're only trading, let's say you are a big boss, you're only trading weekly. Remember, I always tell you that if you're trading, let's say you're trading weekly and monthly alone. For instance, I'm giving an example. These are very big time frames, but I'm giving an example. It means whatever that is happening lower than weekly, it won't bother you much because of what it doesn't affect the structure on your weekly. So that's why I'm saying if you're only executing on weekly, when now you don't care about that small thing here because it doesn't exist on your time frames, you are only going to exit there. So whatever the price does there is not going to affect you when you're only waiting there. So that's why it's very important for you to pick your time frames and stick by them. Stick to those time frames. So if you are trading daily, then you do have something here. You see? That's why we can both take trades on the same thing, but the way we're going to enter and the way we're going to exit won't be the same because we're not trading that very same particular instrument. We're not trading it on the same time frames. That's why even the way we enter and where we place our stop losses won't be the same. So we can conclude that even on daily, we're still looking to buy, but we have to put our first exits there because the price can still find the resistance there and come down. Then let's go to H4. So on H4 we can see that the price is not very smooth, but let's just make it quick. Still applying the same concepts. We had a low there, this is lower than that, so it means your H4 thing is here and your H4 nearest the resistance is there, the resistance. So if you are trading H4 as part of your time frame combinations, it means your nearest resistance is there. But if you're trading daily, remember this won't affect you because it's lower than that. That's why you stick to your time frames. And if you're trading daily, remember your resistance is up there. But if you're trading weekly, these two they don't exist on your time frames. You are going to exit there. I hope it makes sense when we're saying when you are trading whichever combinations that you pick, whatever that falls outside on the lower side doesn't affect you, but you need to be careful of the big boys on the bigger side. So that's why if you're trading daily, you won't see this H4 resistance because what it won't cause much of a distraction to your thing, to your thing. Like we're saying, yeah, like we only worried about the bigger guys on our time frame thing. So here we can just conclude that we have a bearish trend line which is also still holding, and the nearest resistance is there, which is quite close, and the price is now bouncing from the bearish trend line. So we just hope that it breaks this nearest support resistance so that we can look to take buys and go up like that. And when you're going up, remember we are trading H4, you still need to be mindful of that daily resistance. Why? Because I'm trading H4 and daily is higher than my H4. That's why I cannot ignore it. But if I'm trading daily, I can ignore this H4. I hope it makes sense, good people. So those ones who are trading H4, you can wait for the price to break this, or you can, I don't know, if it comes down and it gives you a pin bars there, you're more than welcome to. But here's what you need to always keep in mind. If the price, because we're looking to buy so bad, so if the price does this, like currently I get it. Oh, what did I do now? Currently the price is here. Currently the price is here, right? I'm talking about this. Currently the price is here. The price is here, right? So if the price doesn't break that level, if it comes down, right, and gives you, let's say, pin bars around the same level where it turned before, and you decide to buy with the buy stop there, and your thing works, and then the price goes up, you still need to exit at this H4 trend line. Why? Because you are trading, you took a buy on H4, and your the price hit what? H4 opposing structure, which is what? Bearish trend line. You still have to exit because of what? The trend line is not yet broken. But if the price does this, I hope you are able to follow, guys. I hope you are. If it breaks the trend line and maybe breaks the resistance, and then when it's coming down and you identify area of support, and then you're taking a buy from there, You don't have to worry about the trend line or the resistance, this one, because they don't exist anymore. They've been broken. So it means now you'll be searching for the next opposing structure, which is where you're going to exit. So I don't know if I should go to H1, but it won't change anything because we are saying we are looking to buy. So H1 looks more or less the same as H4. The trend line is there, and we have like a pin bar at the trend line, and then we sort of went down. And yeah, so I suggest that we wait for this to be broken before we can look to go up. Or if you are trading smaller time frame, M15, you get an entry there, exit at the trend line, exit here. It should be enough for you to make your 3:1 risk to reward, like if you're trading M50. But you can see the lower you go, the more the structure becomes messy. It just moves like this. So the more noise you have when you're on your smaller time frames. So that's why I prefer sticking to those higher time frames. But nonetheless, I hope you understand what is it that we are looking out for, and then if anything changes next week, I will update. So for now, this is what we have on Dow Jones or the US 30, and then yeah, I will just end it there. And please do not forget to like and subscribe, and then I'll see you guys in the next one. Ooh, okay, thank you guys. Sharp.